Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Greetings, everyone. Jonathan here. Do not worry, this is a brand new episode. I just wanted to get in here before the actual main part starts, where we start talking about the news, for a very simple reason, to give you an important update that happened between when we recorded and when we are publishing this episode. During our conference reminders, which are back this week, we spent a fair amount of time waxing poetic about how wonderful the Lost Souls Haunted Bus Tour in Chicago is, and how you needed to run out and get your tickets. And look, everything we said in that segment is completely true. It is honest, it is accurate, and we meant every word of it. The problem is that we publish in late afternoon, early evening on Monday, and the tickets went on sale this morning/early afternoon. And before we published, the tickets were already sold out. Much to our surprise, Japes has made it very clear there will be no more tickets available. They're not offering any new dates. What is gone, and that is all of it. So if by some chance we do make you want to do the Lost Souls bus tour, the best advice I can give you is follow them on Facebook, follow them on their main website, and check back next year, because I have a feeling there will be a next year. So sorry for the intrusion. Now back on to the main podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Kristen.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we return to you this week with episode number 352, which, if you do the maths, is divisible by 4, so that means it is time to do
the news.
And we are, no, I don't know what that was. I don't know why I went full donkey there. I am a jackass, but I didn't think I would go full donkey. But we are actually at that point before haunt season where there is a ton of news.
Yeah.
So we had to basically say we're not covering certain kinds of stories.
Right.
Like haunts looking for actors.
Yeah.
8 million of those.
Yeah.
Or haunts opening up after not being closed and things like that. Haunts returning normally. Now, we do have some exceptions to these rules. And you'll see why we made the exceptions in a little bit. But yes, we are doing the news, and there is a lot to go through, honestly. But please do take a minute, if you have not done so already. Follow us at all the places we exist. We're at hauntweekly.com or hauntweekly on Twitter. Or Facebook.com/hauntweekly and YouTube.com/hauntweekly. That's our YouTube channel. Every episode we have done is available there, so you can easily go through the entire archive. You can also do it on hauntweekly.com now, but I don't know. There's the YouTube-y people out there that like YouTube.
Yeah.
And prefer that. You can also find us wherever you get your podcast from. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, whatever. And definitely pay attention to our Facebook page. Once again, that's Haunt Weekly on Facebook. We are going to be doing more live episodes coming up soon. We're in the process of booking some guests and bringing them on to do live recordings. And typically we do them at Sundays, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. But with some of these guests, I have a feeling we're going to have to announce new times, because time zones are a bitch. So please, Facebook.com/HauntWeekly. Stay attuned there. That's where we do the live broadcasts. Please, stay in touch. All right. Well, every week we come at you with a question of the week. And last week I had the callousness to ask a simple question, which is, what can haunts do to get more money from you? And to the person that thought my phrasing that was callous, maybe. Yeah. But also, I've been a small business person now for 16, 17 years, something like that. So, yeah, I'm not going to shirk I'm not going to be subtle about the question of getting more money.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So anyways, we had a lot of great answers. One of the first ones was from James Thurman, who said, walking vendors to sell concessions in the queue line. Yeah, that would actually be really good.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. I've only seen one haunt that did this. And it was the classic House of Shock, not New Orleans Nightmare. The House of Shock did it, but they only did it with shot girls.
Yeah.
They only did it with booze. I would absolutely love it if people would go through and sell popcorn and sodas and water
Yeah.
And especially since, it's sometimes very warm, especially early in haunt season. This would be great, and you can totally structure your queue line system so that people, like vendors like that, have the ability to get inside the line. I think this is a great idea. I'm in love with this idea.
Yeah. Play the snake game to figure out how to do your queue lines.
Just have avenues where your whatever vendors can get in.
Yeah. All right, next up, Maximus Christian Bryant said behind the scenes tours. Yes.
I do not know why more haunts do not offer these.
No.
Even if it was just one night a year.
Uh-huh.
That would not help maybe people like us who travel to haunts routinely. Mm-hmm. But for local haunts, it could be a lot of fun. I mean, we've had a lot of behind the scenes tours of various haunts. We have seen more haunts behind the scenes than just about anyone else, other than like people who do.
I don't know that for sure.
We've done a lot, though.
I think that's reaching, but we have done. If it's available, we try to do it.
Yeah, and like one of my favorite experiences, and we're going to be talking about the Lost Souls bus tour in a second, was the behind the scenes tour of Hell's Gate. That literally was a life changing behind the scenes tour for me.
Yeah.
So yeah. Lindsay Bacon said, the ability to sell touch upgrades if everyone is well trained and it's safe to do so.
Right.
I agree. One of the things we actually saw, and I think we're going to touch on it a little bit later, was selling the inverse of that.
Yeah.
Which was
they sold both.
Yeah, they sold both. They sold the touch upgrades, and they also sold a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
Downgrade? We'll get to it in a minute, though. I promise you.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Okay. Kevin Hopkins. His haunt is focused on making it more of an evening and not a walkthrough.
Thank you. My God, the harping we've done on this.
Yes. All right.
So, yeah. Hang on. Sorry, I got to get back to the notes. Now, I was getting away just for a second. But yeah, that is so important. That was one of the few things we really liked when we were touring Houston, was seeing how the haunts had really invested in that. It was great. Daniel Rowan said, more storytelling and interaction.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Halloween Haunts 365 said, signed stuff. Yes.
Yeah, especially if you've got named characters that are very prominent. You've got, people like that you can easily bring into this. That would be great. And I don't really see a lot of that. I don't see much signed or custom merch or even opportunities to get autographs.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either.
I really think this is an untapped market for haunts. I completely agree with that. And Donarue, R-U-W-E, I have no idea how to pronounce that, as you realized, and I put in the notes. More creativity in haunts. They want to get past, like we were talking about recently, getting past the idea of the walkthrough with the jump scares and the jump startles. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, too.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of duplicity from haunt to haunt.
And that's one of the things, like, you'll go, like, when we did the Atlanta trip, is a good example of this. We went to, I think, 10 haunts, 10 or 11 haunts. I don't remember. I know it was double digits, but we went to, like, 10 or 11 haunts. And, yeah, the haunts had a lot different about them. Some were indoor, some were outdoor, some were high budget, some were low budget, some were animatronic folks, some were animating, some were actor folks, blah, blah, blah. You can go back and forth. But they all had the same fundamental experience. Buy ticket, walk through haunt, and leave.
Yeah, and most of those had a couple of, and this is something that we've noticed, in every area you go to, there's something that's taken off in that area, and it's in every haunt you go to.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. We need more creativity in haunts. But that brings us to this week's question of the week. Okay. Crystal, please introduce it.
What haunt are you looking forward to visiting this year? We went through our list last week.
I think last time, yeah.
Yeah. About where we plan on going locally. We haven't filled out the field trip yet. But
we are actively working on that.
Yeah.
Though.
So we want to hear from you.
Well, so yeah, what haunt are you looking forward to the most, going to the most this year? Let us know. HauntWeekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, YouTube.com/Haunt Weekly. And, of course, wherever you get your finer podcasts. We're there, too. They let us in. Don't ask me why. All right. Historically, on even episodes, we would do conference reminders. And guess what? They're back. Because we've developed a new system for doing them. So, here's the thing. This may be a bit wonky for the first few times because we're still getting used to this new system. But the idea is we've got a system that makes it easier and faster for us to basically, do these reminders and to update them. And updating is incredibly important.
Right.
Because we understood and we kept getting corrections and we kept thinking we were fixing them, but since we didn't have the conference reminders in a centralized location, they kept not getting corrected. So now we've got them in a centralized location. It's a slightly different format for us, so please bear with us. And I'll kick us off this week. Coming up, September 10th through the 11th in Santa Ana, California, it is Creep It Real OC, OC standing for Orange County in this case, at the Heritage Museum of OC. Over 100 vendors will be there. You can learn more at Creep, CREEPITREAL, creepitrealoc.com.
Okay. Lost Souls Haunted Bus Tour has announced their schedule. This is in Chicago, Illinois. It'll be
in the Chicago area in general. Yeah. It doesn't actually have a destination place.
October 1st through the 8th.
October 1st and October 8th, sorry.
Yeah. Visiting 6 haunts, transportation, and better than VIP access. We can attest that is not an exaggeration. That is very true. Tickets are on sale now.
Literally, by the time this goes live, the pre-sale tickets will have launched.
Yes. Lost Souls Chicago.info for more information.
Yeah. I want to spend a minute here because Lost Souls hasn't been around the last couple of years with COVID. Japes did not feel it was safe or smart to be putting a lot of people in a bus together. I agree. I think he did the absolute responsible thing. So what they're doing this year is instead of running 4 nights, they used to run 2 weekends, two weekend pairs. This time around, they're running 2 nights. One is October 1st, one is October 8th. On October 1st, they're visiting Midnight Terror Haunted House, Hell's Gate, and the Old Joylet Prison. And on October 8th, they're going to Disturbia, 13th Floor, and Evil Intentions. Now, I think 4 of those haunts we saw when we went.
Yes.
I believe so. And here's the thing. I cannot harp on this enough. Lost Souls is the best deal in haunting. I shit you not.
Yeah.
You do the math on how much the money is and realize you're getting better than VIP access, plus transportation, plus entertainment, plus the ability to drink and party between the haunts, not having to plan anything. It is a fucking steal. I don't know what the costs are right now. I don't think they published that, but trust me, I know it's going to be a steal.
Yeah.
Because it always is.
And these tickets sell out fast. So if you're in the area, planning to be in the area, and you want the tickets, go and check them out now.
Yeah, Lost Souls. What was the address again? I just had it. Because it's changed.
LostSoulsChicago.info.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, look, if you are wanting to see Chicago area haunts, if this is something you want to do. Now, the one thing that's kind of weird is, like I said, last time it was 6 haunts every weekend. Did it, I think, Friday and Saturday evening. This time around, it's just 2 Saturdays, the 1st and the 8th.
Yep.
So, yeah, I guess that's a bit much to travel to do both. But if you're in the Chicago area, I assure you, you're not going to get a better deal or a better experience in Lost Souls. I will guarantee it. Because there's 2 haunt trips I really, really enjoyed. The one was Atlanta, because I put in all this work, all this effort, all this energy to plan this trip, to budget for it, and go and do it. And it all came off perfectly without a hitch, and we even got some extra stuff in. I'm really proud of that. And Lost Souls Chicago, the Chicago trip where we did the Lost Souls tour, that is my other favorite. Not my second favorite, it's my other favorite. It's a tie, because it's my favorite because I did none of that.
Yes.
The opposite reason.
Yes, we saved so much of our time by not having to do that.
Yeah, it's such a great deal. I cannot encourage enough. I'm so happy that Lost Souls is back. I cannot wait to see how this goes. I'm going to be looking forward to all the social media posts. So yes, get those tickets. By the time this episode goes live on Monday the 29th, tickets will be on sale. Go and get them. They will not be cheaper. And believe me, you will be happy.
Okay.
Sorry, I want to spend some time on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, on October 14th, it's Son of Monster Palooza at Burbank, California, at the Marriott Burbank Hotel. You can learn more at monsterpalooza.com/fall.
Okay, Legendary Haunt Tour is back this year. It's going to be November 11th and 12th in Nashville, Tennessee. Visiting Nashville Nightmare Slaughterhouse, Devil's Dungeon, and Miller's
Thrillers. I just want to say I both love and hate that name with equal amounts of emotion.
Yes, legendaryhaunttour.com.
Yeah, the 2 T's will trip you up if you let it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and finally this episode, Creep It Real Festive. Yes, we've already done one Creep It Real, but they have 2 shows coming up.
Yes.
This one is on November 25th and the 26th, once again in Santa Ana, California, at the Heritage Museum of OC. No details have been announced, but you can check it out at creepitrealoc.com. So yeah, conference reminders are back.
Yes.
And I'm actually very happy with the system so far.
Yes. A little wobbly there, but
We'll get used to
it.
It's still less wobbly than the first times we did the conference reminders the old way.
Yeah.
Because those were rough.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm happy that we have this new system. Now, we'll get the hang of it. Thank you for your patience with us. But anyways, as I mentioned previously, this is an episode of Visible 4. It is time to do the news. And my God, do we have a lot to go through. Crystal, would you like to lead off?
Yes. So, the Headless Horseman in Ulster Park, New York is celebrating 30 years.
Making me feel fucking old, guys. Stop it.
Yes, this is from HudsonValleyCountry.com. So, the Horseman's Night of Shadows opens September 24th. They're going to have 6 haunted houses this year. Whew. The Lunar Motel, the Nightshade Greenhouse, Glutton's Diner, and Slaughterhouse, the Horseman's Tomb, the Feeding Bloodthirsty, and 2
The Feeding
raves.
Bloodthirsty. That's a weird name.
Yeah, I tried to put them together.
Yeah, I know, but it's just an awkward one to say in a list.
Yeah, and 2 Raves Manor. Reminder.
3 raves.
Yes, reminder that last year they took away the hayride, so it is now a walkthrough.
There's no walking trail, so
plan on walking if you go.
And the usual caveats we tell people when going to a trail haunt apply: bring comfortable shoes that are meant to walk on uneven surfaces.
Yes, and appropriate dress for the weather.
Yeah, whether it's hot or whether it's cold.
Be in New York.
Yeah, I don't know. Ulster, New York. I can't offer you any advice. Just look at a fucking forecast. What do you want out of me?
And remember, you'll probably warm up a little bit.
Yeah.
As you walk, because exercise.
Yeah, dress in layers is what we're saying. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And honestly, 30 years.
Yeah.
When you first told me about this story, I was like, 30 years, really?
Yeah.
Because I know that you and I have wanted to go to Headless Horseman for about as long as we've been together.
Yeah.
This is back when we were in South Carolina before we moved to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking early 2000s. We wanted to go to Headless Horseman. It was a name on our radar even then. And that's when we were working the Boy Scout haunt, and we were not that involved. We were
pups. Yeah, we were not in the industry.
In any meaningful way. But we knew of the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
We saw the videos, we read the reports, and we really wanted to go, and we've never been able to make it. 30 years, though. Jesus Murphy, guys.
Congratulations.
Congratulations are in order, I agree. But you're making me feel old, so I have to request that you stop.
No, don't stop until we go.
Okay, fair enough. Let us go, then stop. I agree. That's a good point. All right. Well, this one is a little bit of extra nostalgia for me.
I know.
There is a new haunted attraction coming to the Anderson Jockey Lot in Belton, South Carolina. Now, I never knew it was... Okay, story time here.
Yeah.
The Jockey Lot, and there are Jockey Lots in other states too. There's flea markets with the same... is a giant fucking flea market.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest flea markets I've ever clapped eyes on. It is huge. It is giant. It's just indescribable. And it has sections that are really upper end and really, really garage sale vibe end.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, by upper end, I mean they feel like real stores, not necessarily.
Like
you're not buying champagne or shit.
No, because they have like doors that lock and stuff, and they don't tear down every night. You know.
And then you got people that just laid a piece of OSB over 2 sawhorses.
Yep.
They're calling that their table. You got a little bit of everything there. By the way, this article is by Anissa Snipes at Fox Carolina. But yeah, basically their parking lot, it looks like, which they have a huge one, is playing host to a haunted attraction September 15th They'll be opening Thursday through Saturday through the rest of September. And then October, the Mad Bastards
Yes. What the hell are they thinking?
are doing Hell Month. I did not stutter.
No.
I did not slur my words. I distinctly said Hell Month, as in from the 1st through the 31st, they will be open every day.
Yeah, that's seemingly insane. Good luck to them.
You know, I genuinely, I know this is a new haunt.
Yeah.
But a new haunt does not necessarily mean new haunters. Old haunters open new haunts all the time.
Right.
So I don't know, and the article didn't really tell us much about the history of the people behind it.
Yeah.
But I have to wonder if they've ever run a haunt before and know what they just signed on for.
Yeah. Because, I mean, staffing issues alone for that amount of time are going to be hell.
Like, look, there is a reason why. One of the reasons we remain home haunters is so that we can just be open 3 nights a year.
Yeah.
Because that is a lot already.
Mm-hmm.
And then we used to work haunts and do Hell Week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a notch up. A Hell Month. The only other haunt, I know of a couple trail haunts that have done Hell Month.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is just nuts. It's crazy. And they are offering 3 levels of tickets. I alluded to this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
They have a $25 general admission, get the regular experience.
Mm-hmm.
They offer a Scaredy Cat ticket for $28.
Yeah.
And a hands-on touch haunt for $28.
Yeah. I'm really curious what the Scaredy Cat ticket gets you. Like, is it a walkthrough without actors? Are the actors there but being silly? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. If someone goes, let us know.
Yeah, please do. And one of the things that is interesting in the story is this is actually a weird theme that we noticed as we were putting together these notes, is that there is a trend this year of haunts offering experiences for kids, for people who are frightened of haunts,
Mm-hmm.
for people who otherwise might not have been appropriate to go to a haunt.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, they have the Scaredy Cat ticket. We're gonna come back on this.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I've never seen, especially as an upcharge.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But so yeah, that is weird. But anyways, moving on.
Okay. Not a threat. I love everyone.
Never
That's
a good way to
headline.
start a sentence.
No. Aspiring scare actor in Macon, Georgia, started scaring people in the Walmart parking lot and by getting in line behind them. This is from 13 WMAZ.
And the actor's name is Trey Gerald.
Trey Gerald.
Trey Gerald, yeah.
He's 18 years old. He's an aspiring haunt actor in Macon, Georgia. He is a slider clown. Shares his videos on TikTok and decided to go to the local Walmart and scare people. Frightened quite a few people, it sounds like. And he'll work his first haunt this fall because he's gotten an offer now. But he had to put out a statement saying that he's not a threat.
Yeah, guys, look. Don't do this.
Yeah.
Just don't. People who go to Walmart are not consenting to be scared by haunt actors. It's just flatly true. They're trying to buy groceries. They're trying to buy clothes. They're trying to do Walmart shit. They don't need to see your clown character sliding.
Or any scare actor.
Or any scare actor at all.
Any scare character. It doesn't just have to be clowns. But this one is.
But it just makes it easier to pick on, honestly.
I know. But no, it's... I'm glad that he's found an appropriate place to fulfill this dream of working in a haunt. I am sad that they took to this tactic first.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, you go somewhere like a Walmart, especially if you go out without permission from the managers and owners of that place, you're likely to be trespassed. You're likely to have a police interaction that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Possible arrest or fine or ticketing or something. You don't want to do this. This isn't worth it. And yeah, okay, he got some great videos for TikTok apparently, and he did get a gig from it. I'm a little mad at the haunt that rewarded him.
Yeah.
They didn't say who it was.
No.
But I'm genuinely pissed off that there's a haunt somewhere that looked at this guy behaving very inappropriately and not practicing his craft in a responsible way and hired him.
Yeah.
Because now we know he's someone who isn't going to be responsible about it, and he's your problem.
Yeah.
You've hired him as an employee, basically, and he's going to be scaring people at your haunt. What happens when you respect your rules there?
Yeah.
It's just, don't do this. We want to be good members of the community, and part of that is understanding consent and understanding that it's very different to scare people who go to a haunt and pay for a ticket and have said, yes, I want to be entertained through fear tonight, than it is people trying to pick up fucking shampoo at Walmart.
Exactly. Or groceries, and like there are little kids that were in the video too.
And here's the thing, like, it's quite possible someone going to Walmart has a severe case of clownophobia, or whatever it's called. I forgot what the
chlorophobia.
Chlorophobia, I think it's called chlorophobia. I think you're right. Has actually got chlorophobia. And this could be very traumatizing for them. Now, someone with that condition probably wouldn't go to a haunt, especially if they advertised that they had clown actors. But here, you're going to run into people with all the fears. You can be causing literal psychological harm to people. God, you know, it's dumb, it's reckless, and it's the exact type of stupid shit I expect 18-year-olds to do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know that's mean, but I look back on how I was when I was 18 and I go, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I was not a smart person.
No.
Like, I hope that this Trey Gerald here gets to 42 and looks back and thinks the exact same thing about himself.
It's like, oh, I should have done that
differently.
Yeah,
that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sure with age will bring some wisdom to this. I hope so. But yeah, don't do this. Just take it from an old man who doesn't want to see you go to jail. Don't do this. Moving on.
Okay.
Oh, you had that one. Sorry, yeah. I gotta speak.
Yeah.
Oh, go give me the happy one. Right.
Sorry.
That's all right. New owners of a haunted attraction in Scottsboro. This is an article by Daquan Lee at WAFF 48, dealing with a haunt named Bedlam near Huntsville, Alabama. Basically, they had the Bedlam, and they spell it wrong. They spell it BEDLEM, which this gave my fucking spell checker a conniption trying to write these notes. But whatever, moving on. But the haunts have new owners. The previous owner, Charles Greg Gamble, who's known by Greg Gamble, was arrested in June on charges of forcible sodomy and 3 counts of second-degree sexual abuse. Sorry. It's not indicated, and in the article I'm able to find that any of that had anything to do with the haunt.
Right.
But he was arrested on what can only be described as very, very serious charges. The new owners were and are aware of his history, so they are hoping to turn around the image of this haunt. And part of that is they are donating some of their proceeds to Casa of North Sand Mountain, which is an organization which does court advisors for children, basically. Basically, they provide counsel, court advisors, and people to represent children in court, which is a neat organization and a very important organization in our justice system. But yeah, we had that whole conversation, the very, very important conversation I would add about sexual assault and haunting. And I did not know about these charges until this article, basically today.
Yeah, I don't remember covering it before.
No. And the reason is, looking at all the previous coverage, none of it mentioned that he was the owner of a place that attracts kids.
Yeah.
Just kind of weird coverage, if you ask me.
It is. Yeah. Because usually those kind of stories get around. And I mean, we started looking into it because you saw that the haunt sent out a press release that said it was under new management.
Yeah. And that is always sus to me.
Yeah, it's very sus.
Because, okay, when you advertise you're under new management, one of two things is true. One is the previous management sucks and it was a shit show. And you're telling people the shit show's over.
Yes. We've got a new shit show for you to see.
That shit show will not happen anymore. Maybe a new one, but it may not be a shit show at all. But that shit show's gone. That's one. The other possibility is you're throwing the old owners under the bus and trying to get people to come by and under the pretense of it being something new and radically different.
Yeah.
Even if it's not. This seems very much like the former.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah, this Greg Gamble here appears to have been a problematic person. I'm glad that he sold the haunt. I'm glad it's under new ownership, and I hope they are able to turn around the image.
Yeah.
Because it like I said, none of the previous coverage indicated that the charging had anything to do with the haunt.
Yeah.
What's up?
No, I don't. No, I was just wondering why you wouldn't change
The name
and everything else. Why keep that if it's got such a taint on it?
Well, and I think the reason you might not is because it looks like Gregory here, Greg Gamble rather, is not super connected with his own haunt.
Mm.
This isn't like the Bloodshed brothers, for example, that were super tied to their haunt.
Right.
And of course, they had their recent scandal, and we know all about that. You can go back in the previous episode on that. But yeah, it's not like that. So I think maybe they think the name is salvageable, just because the connection between the two isn't as strong. I don't know. I'm personally with you. I'm just trying to think of why.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you. I spell Bedlam right.
Yeah.
That drove me fucking nuts.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Right.
You spell your haunt name wrong at your own risk.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on.
All right. Hell's Gate and Statesville are going to combine the cast. Last year, Statesville prison closed. And this is from Hell's Gate's Facebook post.
Yeah.
Nothing was said about what would happen to the cast from Statesville because they were awesome when we went on Lost Souls and saw them.
Yeah, I feel really lucky we had that tour on Lost Souls. Because, once again, amazing, better than VIP experience. But also, we got to see it in what ended up being one of its last 2 or 3 years.
Exactly. So they'll be joining the cast at Hell's Gate, which is another zombie army haunt.
Yeah.
So
it is now the zombie army haunt.
It is. They're pitching it as 2 award-winning cast in one location, and I do not disagree with that.
I am someone who will call out hyperbole when I see it. I don't feel that's hyperbole.
No.
Both casts were amazing. And you can tell the effort the Zombie Army Productions does in training and selecting their cast, because it's a situation where we went through both haunts. We went through Statesville one night and Hell's Gate the other, I think, and both haunts were just amazing. Not a bad actor in the bunch, no bad experiences, no one half-assing it. Everyone just 110% every second we were there. And now both of them are going to be at the same place. May God have mercy on their customer souls, because I don't think the cast will. All right. Next item up for bid. From the Dallas Observer. Dark Hours makeup artists talk about the art and the process of making up monsters. This is by Danny Gallagher, the Dallas Observer. This was an interesting article. And this is one I really encourage you to read the article rather than just listen to us talk about it, because there's no way we can cover everything in this article in the 2 to 5 minutes we have.
Right.
Just not possible. But basically, it was a lengthy interview with a makeup artist, and it was a good overview of the concerns that makeup artists take into account when doing their job.
Yeah.
And it looked at everything from health and safety to speed to all this interesting stuff. It was very fascinating. They talked to Molly McCobb, who has worked there for over 10 years. And basically she talked about how they've built a team to prepare 90 actors a night, and in not a lot of time. And basically, and she talks about her experiences and the issues that can arise.
Right, and also it mentions Alan Hops and how he designs the characters and how they make a lot of the foam prosthetics for the various actors in-house so that it's easier and faster to put these looks together for the ones who get the prosthetics.
And basically, I'll say it like this, and this has been in our experience with our haunt too. We know a lot of great makeup designers, and we've had several work for us, work with us. The challenge is finding someone who is both a great makeup designer and fast.
Yeah.
That is tough. Like if in a movie environment where you can have someone sitting in a chair for hours on end to get them prepped for something, that's very different than a haunted attraction where you got, we'll just say 90 people. I don't know where I'm getting that number from, pulling it out of thin air, right?
Yeah.
You've got 90 people you've got to crank through in probably under half an hour.
Yeah, exactly. And, they practice. That's one of the things that this article goes into that was interesting is that they practice getting that many people ready before the show.
It's the difference between being like one of those mechanics that pumps gas at a gas station and being one of the pit crew that puts gas in a NASCAR and F1 car at a pit stop.
Yeah.
Both have to do functionally the same job, but one has much stronger time preps. And so just like a pit crew practices, so do these makeup artists. So yeah, it was very interesting. Yeah. Right. I encourage you to go read the article. Once again, it's at the Dallas Observer. We'll have links to all of this in our show notes, hauntweekly.com. You can pull the links there.
Okay. Behind the Screams, what it takes to get Dent Schoolhouse ready for Halloween.
Ooh, baby.
That is a name that you should recognize if you've been listening for any time.
Yes.
Taylor Burnett from the Cincinnati Enquirer wrote this article. She interviewed the owners, Bud Strauss and Josh Wells. And one of the things that it points out, and this is another mini theme that I've seen this news article or news episode, is that how long it takes to build a haunt. Like people are talking more and more about when they start building, and they start building January 1st.
Which I hear a lot of people do. They kind of take November and December off at the holidays, and they need a break. They just shut down for season, and then pick it up with the new year.
Yeah, and they talk about, they have 10 to 12 year-round workers and 100 seasonal actors. We know several. They talk about how it started 17 years ago and where it is today. And the murderous janitor, Charlie, who killed kids in the school. That is the legend that they say it's true. So we'll just run with that.
Yeah, why not?
No. So he's always part of the story. But one of the other things and they're bringing back the monster Midway.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why it went away in the first place. Like, what wasn't working?
Yeah, well, we've talked about Midway type things a lot. And one of the reasons we talked about is we saw that amazing one in Houston. 13th Gate converted their second haunt, their supplemental haunt, into a Midway. So yeah, Midways are definitely popular, and a lot of it has to do with what we were just talking about, which is trying to make a haunt visit an evening rather than just a poop poop.
Yeah,
and not like you're robbing the joint.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And they also go ahead.
And they talked to Pumpkin Smasher, which for the past couple of years has been played by Maximus Christian Bryant.
Yeah, who's that? Who's he again?
Oh,
do we know him?
I think we met him once.
Just at a random conference or something like that. I feel like I'm supposed to know this guy.
No, we're kidding. We love Mags. And he's been featured. He recently got engaged. Congratulations. But so Pumpkin Smasher, the character, has been doing TikToks on the Dance School page recently, and they are asking for things other than pumpkins that he can smash. So if you have suggestions, go to their TikTok.
I would like to throw in a suggestion now, which is watch some of the old Gallagher stand-up. You'll get some ideas.
Oh, yeah.
And like one of my favorite Gallagher moments was when we got a curved hammer so he could smash a bowl of like gelatin or something.
Yeah.
And have it go out and all the ropes.
Yeah. I think that it would be fun, like, if you need to detail a room with blood splatter, to fill up a giant balloon full of fake blood and then smash it. And that would actually be splatter, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway, congrats to him for being in the article. Yeah. Also, personnel manager Margaret Blackburn explained the fight against vocal exhaustion. She has been working there for 20 years as their actor-manager person. So I'm hoping to get her on the show sometime to talk about where they are.
Yeah, and she talks about the actors practicing singing.
Yeah.
Which this was something you ran into, the art of screaming and that type of stuff, and learning over the pencil. Is the thing, learning how to project your voice in a way that doesn't hurt your vocal cords.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, and honestly, that'd be, I don't think it was mentioned in the article, but if you are interested in that, the art of screaming, I think some of the videos from it are on YouTube legitimately. And you can get enough of an idea of the principles of it.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good. You were learning it when you were learning to sing, when you were taking singing lessons and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good thing. And I was actually watching you go. And when you were doing it, I'm thinking, damn, this is useful in a haunt environment.
Yeah.
But now I get to actually mention it here.
Yeah, but if you're doing screeches and weird noises and stuff, that's harder to, like, not injure yourself. But just to project, it works really well. So.
Yes. Well, our next article? Our next article this week is by Andrew DeRosa at the Connecticut Insider. Connecticut's haunted attractions gear up for Halloween's month in advance.
Talking about that little mini.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah, we'll get back. I'm gonna come back to this. But anyways, basically, Lake Compounds in Bristol is taking steps for Phantom Fall Fest. That rolls off the tongue like a socket set. I'm sorry. But yeah, the folks in the article tells the event is new to the area and they want to make sure people know about it. They have 150 actors. We'll have a carnival there as well. They're having group auditions for Best Zombie Walk or Best Scream. It's interesting as a way to get more people in and people more engaged in different types of stuff.
Right.
Because, yeah, someone might come in and want to apply for X, but if you open up a contest for the Best Scream or the Best Zombie Walk, you might discover a talent they didn't fucking know they had.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. You don't know how good your zombie walk is until you try.
Mm-hmm.
Just trust me. You don't know. But yeah, it was a good little article letting people know sort of what it takes to run a haunt and how much time goes into it. And this was one of our frustrations in 2019.
Yeah.
Because, like, when we had the road construction issue, I approached the city and I told them, hey, look, we need to know by mid-September if we can open.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said early September, and I think I meant early September.
Because we're getting to that time again.
Yeah. Well, because at that point, you start making decisions and purchases and doing things that you can't undo.
Yeah, well, we do.
Well, we do. I mean, that's what we do. But here's the thing, and we're just a small home on 625 square feet, and we still need to know what's going on at least 2 months in advance in order to have any shot of opening. And the city did not understand that. The city and even the construction crews thought, oh yeah, we could open with a night's notice.
Yeah, but we can't guarantee that we'll have a safe road. So we couldn't do any promotion until the road was fixed.
Yeah. And then COVID hit, so we've been closed 2020, 2021 too.
Yeah.
That sucked. But the 2019 was the most frustrating year because we realistically could have opened.
Mm-hmm.
If the construction company had told us and guaranteed us a fixed road for the nights we were open.
Yeah.
They did not do that. They could not do that. So we closed, and on Halloween night, we had technically a serviceable road, but we had to tell them, sorry, no, we're closed because they're doing road work, and we were not sure until like literally 5 minutes ago, basically, we'd even be able to open. It was just so frustrating. It was embarrassing, and it really soured me on working with the city because haunters, we understand what goes into this. Mm-hmm. We understand the time, the energy, the work, even for a small home haunt. We're just two people.
Yeah. And
we do 90+% of the work in this haunt.
Yeah.
We're just two people. And it takes months of work. And other people who have never built a haunt, never worked at a haunt, have no concept of that. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad to see these news articles like this one actually fucking explaining it because Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Moving on.
All right. Something happier.
Anything's happier.
There's a new horror comedy coming out called Teddy Told Me to Do. Or Teddy Told Me To. Sorry. So this is by Anthony DeMoro from Frightener.com. Basically, it's directed by FX artist Tom Devlin. And a couple buys an old haunted house. They don't know the sordid past of the haunted house. They hire actors to work it, and then opening night becomes kind of a bloodbath.
Yeah, this is an interesting... Because at first I was like, why are we including this? We don't talk about horror movies that much. But it's a horror movie set in a haunted attraction. Yeah. And it's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we do have to mention this. I think you're 100% right.
And it's just a fun little extra.
Yeah, little lanyard up there. Uh-huh. And also, in a similar vein, even though it's not in the show notes, you can find it in a million places. The trailer for the Spirit Halloween movie dropped.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it previously.
I don't think we mentioned the show. I think we mentioned the movie.
Okay.
But anyways, there's a trailer out. I'm not going to encourage you to watch it, but I'm also not going to jump in front of you to stop you. So, how's that?
We're staying here.
We're just going to stay here and just let you know it's there. You do with that information what the fuck you will.
Mm-hmm.
You have fun. All right, up next, Scream and Stream Drive-Thru Haunted Attraction gets a new location. This is in Florida. The article is by it's by Susan and Simon Vaness at Attractions Magazine. That's so confusing. But basically, Scream and Stream Haunted House was a drive-through haunt open in Florida. They are now moving to significantly bigger digs. They're moving to the Mall of Florida. I'm assuming the parking lot, because it's still a drive-through attraction. It'd be kind of cool to drive through the mall, but I don't think that's it.
If it's an abandoned one, maybe?
I don't think it's an abandoned mall. I think it's a functioning
no
mall. Anyways, but regardless, the primary haunt is a drive-through haunt, and now they have a much bigger space for this, and they're very excited about that. But part of that bigger space is that they're now opening a new lobby area where you walk around, and you do things like take selfies with the actors, you buy merchandise, and they also have a new attraction called Blackout where they blindfold you, and you go through the haunt that way. Now, I'm assuming that's a walking haunted attraction and not a driving one, because
Yeah. That would be bad if they were driving.
Yeah. Also, what would you do? Like, say you put them like on one of those tracks, like in a car wash, so that even the driver could be blindfolded. What do you do to scare them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because one of the things you've given up is almost all the ways of interacting with people. I mean, drive-through haunts are an interesting idea, and they were very, very important during the pandemic. But, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. All right, moving on.
All right, haunted attraction coming to historic Birmingham Theater this fall. This article is by David Vesselnick at Hometown Life.
Yeah.
So this is in Birmingham, Michigan.
Which pissed me off because I thought it was going to be Birmingham, Alabama. I'm like, ooh, we could go. No, we cannot.
No.
Fun fact, no.
Yeah. The Birmingham 8 Theater is going to be converted into a haunted attraction beginning in September. The theater is going to shut down all of the movies, and moviegoers will become Ghost on the Balcony Haunted House. They'll take over the whole theater, including places not typically open to the public. That's going to be interesting. I would like to see what's
especially when you factor this is a theater built in the 1920s. It is an older theater. And basically there's going to be two experiences. One is for kids early in the night, and one for adults later on. And I'm assuming they're not talking the adult experience we got at the Haunted Puddle.
No.
I'm assuming that much.
I'm assuming that much too.
But here's the thing. I find this really interesting because one of the things we've been talking a lot about is trying to find year-round income for haunts and for ways to keep generating revenue throughout. Well, what about the idea of having a regular business 10 months out of the year, and then 2 months out of the year you convert it to a haunt?
Yeah.
That at least is interesting. I don't know if how many businesses this is right for, but it's at least an interesting idea and something I think more haunted attraction owners and operators should consider. But yeah, I was deeply fascinated by this. And we started talking about this initially. Yeah. We're like, well, there are a lot of advantages. You know, everything's been fireproofed already. You know, there's egress, tons of egress everywhere.
It's going to be somewhat soundproof.
It's going to be handicap accessible. So, yeah, I honestly, there's a lot of perks. The only major disadvantage I could think of is that if you use the theater space, a lot of your floor area is taken up by chairs, but, you know, there's still a lot of interesting things you can do. I think this is a fascinating idea. All right, moving on. We've got two more stories. All right. Well, our next one is a change.org petition, Save Dead City Haunted House. But basically, this is a haunted attraction located in Murray, Utah, and this is posted by the haunt itself. What they're saying is that a new fire chief has come on board and is interpreting the fire code rules very differently from the previous guard and is not allowing them to open. They say that they use the same safety and build techniques that other haunts have used, and their design and materials and everything was previously approved, but under the previous leadership, but were denied under the current leadership.
Yeah.
and they are seeking 1,000 signatures. At the time I checked this out and wrote these notes a few hours ago, so on Sunday, about a day before, by the time this goes live, they were up to like 993.
Mm-hmm.
So they were very, very close to that goal. I have no idea if this will actually help, but this points to a fear that is not unreasonable.
Right.
Because you can always... Because the fire code, the fire safety standards are supposed to be largely national and largely homogenous everywhere.
Yeah.
But those codes and those rules are always interpreted by local fire marshals, and those interpretations can be wildly different from one another.
Yes.
And if you get a fire marshal or a fire chief that is just against haunted houses, just has a bug up their butt about haunted attractions,
or is very literal in their interpretation, because I know one of the haunt cons that I sat in on, there was someone telling a story about how the fire marshal made them fireproof their corn maze.
Yeah, the corn and the...
Yes, the actual corn. Like, spray it down. It's like, that... I don't know. I'd never heard that anywhere else, and it sounds crazy.
Well, yeah, if a fire starts in a corn maze, you just go the other direction. It's corn.
Well, I mean, it's going to burn fast because it is corn.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's unlikely to...
Yeah.
You're not going to get trapped as easily. No. Which is the big fear. It's the combination of a fast-moving fire plus being trapped that is super dangerous.
Yeah.
And like I said, you go back to the Six Flags fire, Haunted Castle fire. That's what happened there.
Yeah.
Was a fast-moving fire, people got trapped, and they died.
But on the other hand, if the previous person was really lax in the interpretation of the rules and was putting people in danger by letting haunts in the area get away with things, then that's another question, another problem.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on here. They say that their build and safety is the same as other haunts, but I have seen wildly different standards there from haunts.
Yeah.
Wildly different. I have been to haunts where I walked through and I went, how did this pass fire code compliance? And at least in a couple of cases, the answer was, it didn't.
Right. They were shut down.
Haunted Puddle, get to mention that one again. But other times, it did. And I'm not exactly sure how. Like, what batshit interpretation of the rules led to this haunt opening?
Yeah.
There is no absolute standard, and that's one of the great frustrations. And I know, like, in our area, Orleans Parish and JP, Jefferson Parish, which is like the big neighboring parish, are known for being super strict. But you go up to the river parishes or go across the lake, the standards are notoriously much more loose.
Yeah.
And it's not because the rules changed, it's the interpretation of the rules.
Well, it's also the amount of give-a-fucks the fire marshal has in those areas.
Yeah, our friend who had a haunt in Laplace said that his fire marshal inspection was about 2 minutes long.
Yeah, but then whenever he moved into Jefferson Parish, they gave him all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, when he was in the rural area, the fire marshal walks in and goes, yep, that's a haunted house. And just walks out, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's about it. And then, like I said, he moves to Jefferson Parish, and he's being forced to replace drop ceiling tiles.
Yeah, and, like, got clearance to open, and then 3 hours before opening, had the fire marshal show up and find something else that he had to fix before he could open.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Because this is just we're talking a difference of like 20 miles, 30 miles.
Yeah.
Between these two places. And same owner, same haunt largely, same build.
Yeah.
Two totally different responses from the fire marshal, the fire authorities, the fire code authorities. Our last story this week.
All right. Former Scary Acres organizer brings haunted gallows to Burrillville.
Burrillville.
That's a lot of L's together.
Yeah, dude. Worst game of Wheel of Fortune ever.
Yeah. This article is by Sandy Sean at NRI Now.
Yeah.
And comes to us from Rhode Island.
Yeah. This is an interesting story, and the reason I wanted to put this one in the notes, and this is one of those I encourage you to check the article again, was because this was Jason Soares and his partner in this, Wendy Timmons, appeared before the local town council to pitch their new haunt, the Haunted Gallows. And he had previously ran a nearby haunt that was in their town called Scary Acres. He ran that for 11 years. Soares ran that. The new haunt will feature 2 trails. They expect guests to remain on the property for about an hour, and they will have an additional attraction aimed at kids. And one of the interesting things I found in this article was that someone asked, how do you intend to keep people from wandering off your path? Because this is all outdoor.
Yeah.
And his answer was, we're lining the entire trail with safety net so that if you hit the net, you screwed up. You need to go back the other way. And the main thing I want people to do, I want you to go and read this article because it details several exchanges between Soares and the council. And this was a guy who was prepared for every single question they had. He had good, honest, and thorough answers to everything. And by the end of it, they were joking and having fun with him, and it was a very friendly thing. And they got unanimous approval.
Yeah, which is great.
This is how you form. Read this article to learn how you form a good relationship with your local authorities.
Yeah.
This is a guide. This is a strategy guide.
Yes. It sounds like their pre-mortem went very well.
Yeah, and they talked, and they knew even how long they expected people to be on the property off the top of their head. They talked very at length about their various safety measures, including the nets that I mentioned.
Yeah.
They had it all there. They had it all mapped out. They were able to answer every question, including a few seemingly gotchas. What could have been gotchas.
Yeah.
They didn't get anyone.
Nope.
So, yeah. This is a master class on how to appease your local authorities, whoever they may be, city, council, whatever, city, county, or whatever, Honestly, just a great, great article. Well, I think that's all we have.
Okay.
And we're almost up to our hour anyway.
Yeah.
So on that note, everyone, please, once again, do take a moment. Find us at all the places we are. We're at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook, youtube.com/Haunt Weekly is the YouTube channel. A great way to listen to all previous episodes and to, get caught up on the new ones. They go live there at the same time they go at all the other places to get podcasts, such as Google Play, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Podbean, whatever. I don't know. There's a million of them. Wherever you get your podcast, we should be there.
Yeah.
But until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And we will see you all next week with not the news. It'll be something else, but it's going to be great. Talk to you then.